Because tomorrow's visionaries need focus today. At the University of Minnesota, with each student comes an opportunity to set their sights higher and to show them the way, so our graduates can shape the future and fulfill the dreams they haven't yet dreamt. Because renewable energy can sustain us all. Our students envision the sun powering homes on every block, wind-blown ideas launching entirely new economies, and fertile soils fueling cars and people alike, protecting the harmony between humanity and nature. Because self-expression can move 1,000 souls. Be it a song or a dance, a canvas or a poem, the arts are vital to the U of M experience, as are self-discovery and moments of sheer amazement. Because cancer can be conquered by targeting medicines, customizing treatments, and transplanting stem cells, incurable cancers can become survivable. Terminal can be redefined as treatable, and optimism can spread once again. Because human rights need champions. From classrooms in Minnesota to courtrooms in Uganda, assembling a collective voice for change allows dignity to return and extends human rights across the globe. Because clean water ensures quality of life. It's essential to the health of all nations, so we're studying models and molecules. We are committed to making clean water flow freely, from the headwaters of the Mississippi to the slums of Mumbai. We share the belief that anything is possible, because at the University of Minnesota, discoveries unfold, breakthroughs happen, and history is forever changed.
All right, welcome back. I've got a question for you here, and it goes like this. How far do you have to find fresh fruit and vegetables in your neighborhood? And I want you to think about that, because Gabriel Castillo found some frustrated folks who have to go the extra mile to maintain a healthy diet.
On the boundary between Minneapolis and St. Paul, Prospect Park's Fresh Thyme is an important asset for people who live around here. It is the only place in the vicinity where they can buy fruits and vegetables.
It's inconvenient that I can only buy fruits here and I have to go to another store for many other items, but it doesn't bother me, it's just inconvenient.
Fresh Thyme is part of a select group of supermarkets near the University of Minnesota that sell those products. There are only 2 established stores in the Dinkytown, University, and Prospect Park neighborhoods that sell fresh fruits and produce.
We have a wide variety of fast food and, probably some healthful choices on campus.
According to the Department of Agriculture, a food desert is defined as 1 square mile without supermarkets or large grocery stores. For people that live in the superblock, only Fresh Thyme and Target are within range on the East Bank.
I understand that there's low access for many students, but I think that the student lifestyle is not conducive to eating healthfully.
For Isaac Scherfenberg, maintaining a healthy diet is hard during the school year.
I attempt to care as much as I can when it gets really busy, especially in the school year. It is hard to keep the focus on that because when I am busy studying for my engineering classes till fairly late, it is sometimes really hard to prioritize taking a trip down there instead of just grabbing something from Chipotle or something on the way back. For example, last year or 2 years ago when I lived in the dorm, there was absolutely nothing really near it. And it also becomes an issue how expensive Fresh Thyme is, which is quite bad.
While this area is not defined as a food desert, the students are thirsty for cheaper and more convenient alternatives. Gabriel Castillo, University Report.
Yeah, having access to fresh produce is an issue for so many families. At least today, if you had to walk a great distance to get to one of those grocery stores, it was pretty good. Gabrielle joins us now with a look ahead at our weather here for us. How about it?
Yes, this was definitely a better day than yesterday for a walk, or almost anything else outside. So after all that rain yesterday, today was sunny and dry. In fact, it felt almost like fall. this morning, before the temperatures warmed up this afternoon. Sadly, today was an outlier in the entire week, as in the next few days we will see more clouds in the sky. Here's a look at the next 4 days. So for Wednesday tomorrow, we're gonna have cloudy skies with 58 of a low and 77 of a high. Thursday, we're gonna see a partially cloudy sky with 73 highs and 59 lows. And the entire week, it's gonna be the same thing today too. On Friday, it's gonna be 70 degrees as a high and 54 as a low. And on Saturday, we're gonna have 72 again with 54 as a low too. So expect entirely cloud.
And what I'm loving most about your forecast, Gabrielle, is that after an entire week where we've all had our air conditioners blasting, is now at least overnight we can turn them off and open up the windows. That's going to feel really nice. Thanks so much. All right, on a gorgeous summer day like this, a city park can be just the place for fresh air and outdoor activities. And as Jelani Howard shows us, in some Twin Cities parks, you can find more than just ball fields and playgrounds.
So normally there's around I think 30 to 40 employees, but then during the strike, I think it was down to around 10 or so.
The park employees don't just clean for themselves. Parents and recent graduates use the park for their activities.
Probably about once a week, twice a week. Dude, the zip line is actually choice. Oh, it's awesome. I mean, the shade, it's tough to get shade anywhere, and it's nice to have a little piece of, obviously it's not crazy nature, but some nature, something that's real and not man-made around the city. It's great.
Oh, I love it. The area is great. The pool is super fun. We didn't plan for that today, but I see that the playground is new. I feel like when we were here a few years ago, this was different. So,
children of all ages come to Van Cleve Park. They come for...
Well, the 22-day strike by Minneapolis park workers ends in less than 2 weeks. All right, we've got a popular bike shop now that's owned by its employees that's closing both of its Twin Cities locations. Reporter Matt Zeikert has been looking into what's going on at Hub Bike Cooperative. So what have you learned so far?
So far what I've learned is of its history. It's very historic. It's been open for over 22 years. And what I really came upon was this idea that there was a boom in bicycling, in e-bikes, all of that around the pandemic.
Right.
And now it's starting to slow down significantly. And then you throw in things like Amazon being able to sell parts, bicycle shops kind of are going away, and it's kind of very sad to see.
We're seeing a new boom right now in electronic bikes, electric bikes, I should say. Did that play a factor in this at all? In other words, are they losing some of their market share for regular pedal bikes to the e-bikes, and did that play a factor?
What I heard was they weren't necessarily angry with Vio or Lime, who operate scooters here, but what they were concerned about is a lot of these e-bike manufacturers, when you can buy the whole e-bike, a lot of people are just going straight to their websites and not these independent bike shops like the one we were talking about now.
Now, what's great about this bike shop is it's the customer service. It's the personal service when you go in. Oftentimes, they know you by name when you walk in the door, and they can fix it right there on the spot.
Precisely, and it's such a part of the community too. You know, it's right next to Super Black, where I lived my freshman year, and
yeah, they're right here in Dinkytown.
Yeah, and it's going to be really sad to see them go. But just like a lot of these businesses that we're seeing go under, it has a lot to do with inflation. It has a lot to do with the products that are being sold elsewhere cheaper, like on places like Facebook Marketplace. And it's something to just look at in fascination.
What's also unique about this particular bike shop is that it was owned by the workers who have been there for years. I mean, this wasn't just a corporate owner someplace.
Precisely. There were 6 cooperative owners who worked together, and when they had a big decision, like this decision to close down their stores, they had to vote on it, and they had to be in agreement, have a majority vote. It's a very, I was told it was a very democratic way of going about things. And now that they are closing down, they actually closed down the Minnehaha store in last year for a little bit, and they opened it back up. And they've decided that economically speaking, with the winters in Minnesota, it didn't make sense for them to stay open at all because they just couldn't make up that money they lost in the winter.
Well, it kind of makes you wonder because biking is so big here in the Twin Cities. We're considered one of the most bikeable cities in the country right now, especially the city of Minneapolis. They've worked hard on that. But what does this do and what does this say for other independent bike shops out there? Can they make a go of it if these guys cannot?
I think that with the co-op ending, part of it might be the structure. I can't say that for a fact, of course, but a lot of these other bike shops have like one head honcho. And that way there's less time wasted on petty disagreements and such. Although it's very democratic and that can be something that looked upon by many as a great thing, there's something that might have set them back a few paces.
Now with this bike shop closing, how many other bike shops are there within the Twin Cities campus area that students can go to if they not just need a bike, but need repairs or service?
Yeah, well, there's only two. We have one on East Bank and one on West Bank, but some of these students that are coming to the University of Minnesota have cars, so they're driving to other locations, but they're not cooperatively owned. And Minnesota and the Twin Cities lost their last cooperatively owned bike store, which is a very sad thing to say.
Hub Bike Cooperative. It's going to be missed here on campus. All right. Great story, Mike. Thanks so much. All right. That's it for this edition of University Report. I'm Tim Blotz from Fox 9. Join us again this Thursday, coming up at 4 o'clock. Have a great afternoon.